Breaking news!
Brittany Broski is in Park City. I repeat, Brittany Broski is in Park City.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with Kacey K. Yep, that's me.
Wasn't that just the most amazing editing job you've ever heard? I did all that in the span of 5 minutes. It's actually a lot easier than you would think. Yeah, it just goes to show that most things are easier than people think they are. Like, there's so many things that I do or I put off for a long, long time, and then it takes me 4.5 seconds to do, and I'm like, oh, well, why didn't I just do this in the first place? That was one of them. So there was no engineering team behind that wonderful masterpiece of an introduction. And if any of you recognize that, that is the news segment part from SpongeBob. Sorry, my throat. I need to clear it 1 second. All right, there we go. Much better. I just cleared my throat with some nice, fresh, pure Alani cherry slush flavor. Yeah, I actually am trying to cut down on energy drinks because they're probably not the best for you. I don't like coffee, and I think it's just a habit. I kind of go through these phases with basically everything, and I don't know, maybe this phase is coming to an end. I still like them, but I get, what am I trying to say? Overly obsessed with things for a minute, and then it kind of dies off. So who knows? But I also heard that they're terrible for your stomach, your digestive system, and you're not supposed to have caffeine for an hour and a half or longer after you wake up. So I'm going to try and cut it down to one a day at lunchtime, maybe. But they're just so good. It's my favorite thing. It's why would I stop my favorite thing in the whole wide world? But, you got to be healthy, because if y'all remember from last week, I was sick, and it did not last just a couple days. It is still lingering. You can kind of hear it. Yesterday was the first day I kind of felt back to normal. I thought I was back to normal on Friday, but for some reason, every single night around 7 or 8 p.m., right when I want to go to bed, I get these coughing fits, and I cannot stop coughing, and cough drops won't help. Nothing helps, and it's so frustrating. And I'm I'm going to start coughing up blood. I don't know what is in, well, I guess if you would have seen what was coming out of my lungs, sorry, this is probably too much information, but y'all always ask me to talk about myself, so here we go. Every morning when I wake up, this is the first morning this has not happened in a week. It feels like someone has poured rubber cement glue down my throat, and my nose is just completely, when they do what am I trying to, I guess is it silicone, where they plaster your face and do a face mold or whatever. It feels like someone has shoved all that stuff up my nose. The amount of time to get just functioning in the mornings was probably 20 to 30 minutes. I'd have to drink so much water. I'd have to blow my nose several times, just to get all the gunk out of my system. It was disgusting. I feel like my eyes were glued shut. It was awful. It was so annoying. Granted, it wasn't the worst cold I've ever had. Sorry, my voice again, as soon as I want to start talking. Anyway, it's not the worst cold I've ever had. But it was giving me flashbacks to when I had COVID. COVID was horrible. I had the first round. It was later in the year. It was November of 2020. And I had this feeling. I was doing a Friendsgiving party, and I just had this feeling to cancel it. I'm I just, something's not, the vibes are not vibing right now. And so I canceled it, and less than a week later or something, I get struck by COVID, and it was not fun. It was so weird. If any of you had COVID, it came in like waves. Like the first night, I felt like someone was beating the shit out of me with a bat all night long. Like I could not lay in any position without my body just aching and being so miserable. And then it was exhaustion. I was so exhausted. I could barely do anything. I could barely keep my eyes open. I probably should not have driven. I drove to work and I'm like, there's something wrong with me. I'm going to go home. Like my boss was talking to me and I was falling asleep as she was talking to me. So I went into like a COVID testing site and spit into a little tube, and sure enough, I had it. So then I got home and I can't remember what I think I slept for a couple days, and then I finally felt back to normal and I'm like, oh good. And then I couldn't smell or taste anything. I'm like, oh my God, really? But then, like, you would have thought I hadn't worked out or moved my body in 7 months. Like, just walking up the stairs, I'd have to sit down and take like a break because I was so tired and my lungs, I just could not get any air. And so that was what this was kind of bringing back, was those horrible memories. um, I like felt like I was like so out of shape, and I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been in my life. And so that was disheartening because I think all the work I put in the last couple months has just gone down the drain. But through all of this, you guys, I've taken my creatine every single day, so be proud of me. Yeah, anyways, I had a hard time catching my breath. I feel like all this sickness was in my lungs because the stuff that was coming out of my lungs, you guys, was from the pits of hell. Like, it was so nasty. I imagine it's like what the bottom of the barrels of like the Monster Factory look like, you know, the Monster Energy or Rockstar, or probably even Bang, honestly. It was bad. And like it was like slime from like Nickelodeon, like that time they tried to kill Katy Perry. Like, it was awful. Like, you know when there's like chemicals in water and like the sun shines on it and you can kind of see the chemical rings or whatever, that's like what was coming out of my body. Yeah, it was awful. And so I think that's why I like cough all the time, because my body is like trying to get rid of all this crap. So I just made sure to stay super hydrated, and that helped a lot, but it is still lingering. And like yesterday was the first day I felt pretty normal, but my head had so much pressure in it. And I don't know like how to explain it, like when I'm talking like that. Like, it felt like there was lukewarm water in my head everywhere. And it was just like, there was one night I was coughing so bad that I was getting a headache. Like, every time I'd cough, it was like this pounding in my head. I don't know why I'm talking about all this, because I hate when people talk about when they're sick, but you know what? You're here. You heard me last week. You're invested. So now you know. I'm back to normal, but now I have to get myself motivated to go back to the gym again, which I love going to the gym, but I hate like restarting. It is so frustrating. Like, when you're in a good flow, it just feels so good. But like, once you take like, that's what's the problem is, like when you go on vacation and stuff, it's like you can't take all your supplements and stuff. I mean, I guess you can, but what a pain. You can't take all your supplements, you can't take all your health food. You're obviously going to eat like not healthy, and you just kind of derail. And so I feel like this is kind of how it went. Although I didn't eat bad, I ate pretty good. But still, I hate when plans change. But oh well, I guess I'll start again. At least I didn't gain any weight. That's a good thing. So anyway, back to the original, like, very first of this episode. Brittany Broski is in Utah, and she is there with Audible, and she, like, what a good pairing, first of all, because she talks about books, like, all the time. Like, the amount of books this girl reads is insane. And I'm like, what would it be like just to have time just to, like, sit and read? Like, how fun. And, like, I love how bookstores are becoming a thing again. I feel like TikTok has revived the book industry. And I just saw a thing yesterday where it said romance novels are the highest selling genre of all time right now, since 2020 or something. And it's probably because of TikTok, because of Book Talk. And all you girls who like your smutty little books, sitting in bed next to your husbands reading those smutty little books. But yeah, I mean, go off. My grandma used to read those books. Like, the covers that she would have on those books that she'd read were unhinged. I'm like, Kate, the person that drew this has some very built up sexual tension, and like we'd be like the dentist office or like the doctor's office or I don't know, the movie theater, and she'd just pull out her book. It's like basically a more than half naked man on the cover, like laying on top of a woman. I'm like, Kate, this is like, but she didn't care. She did not care. She was ahead of the time. She was ahead of the curve. But yeah, Brittany's like, I feel like every TikTok I see or every podcast episode I listen to, she's talking about a book that she's read or a whole entire freaking series, and like she knows so much. Like I'm like, how do you retain that much information? Like you'd have, I don't know. I'm not good at retaining information from books I am not interested in, and it's so frustrating. Like it's so time consuming to like hope and wonder, am I going to be interested in this book? And it's like, when do I give up? When do I stop reading? You know, and then some books you just can't put down. So I don't know. I guess that's first world problems, but I would like to. My friend Mallory always tells me, she's like, you mentioned several times in your book that your only dream in life is to be able to read a book and not fall asleep. I'm like, well, you know what? That's my life right now. Hopefully I just kind of rearrange my schedule so I won't be working as much, but I'll still be getting that pay, so that's good. But I miss free time. I think back to when I was unemployed for several years, and what did I do? It is so easy for me to, especially when I'm just home, to just waste time. I do not know how people work from home at all. I would get nothing done. I would be the most unproductive employee ever. Yeah, there's no way. And I just get into these zones. I'm like, well, I can just take a little nap, and then that nap turns into like 3 hours, and I'm like, well, it's probably too late to start a project anyways, so I'll just start tomorrow. And then I just watch TV for 7 hours. So I should probably not do that, especially if I'm branching out on my own and eventually want to, you know, do this for full time or whatever. But yeah, sorry, it is so easy to get off topic. Anyway, my friend Catherine and my friends, I should say, Catherine and Dalton, went to Park City this weekend because it is Sundance Film Festival, and they saw Will Ferrell. They saw the guy from White Lotus, the one Aubrey Plaza is married to. They saw the girl from You. I stopped watching that after they killed off Peach Salinger, the best character on that show. So I don't know much about the show, but Love, I guess is her name. They saw her. I guess they were invited to Whitney Rose's party, but Catherine's license was expired, so they couldn't go in. So Catherine's sister and her cousin went in, and they actually said it was quite lame. I don't know if it was just starting or what, but they said there was like 5 people in there and 1 DJ, and Whitney Rose was nowhere to be found. So her cousin left. But yeah, they didn't see Whitney Rose. But in my mind, when she told me, she's like, do you want to come to Park City with me on Sunday? We're going to go walk around. I'm like, oh, I wish I could, but I've got to go like haul some horses for my mom. And honestly, I just the thought of going up there, because I was at that point I was still sick when she asked me. I'm like, I am not doing that. That sounds horrible. But I was like, I wonder if she'll see Brittany Broski. And she calls me, which we never really call each other. We only do it when it's like we need some information really quickly, or I guess that's the only time we call each other. It's so funny when we call each other, we're like, hello. It's like so awkward. It's like we don't know what to say or do because we just don't call each other. She was like so excited. She's like, guess who I just met? And I was like, who? I should have known. And she's like, Brittany Broski. I'm like, oh, I knew it. I had a feeling you guys would see her. She's like, yeah, we were just sitting on a bench and she was just walking by. I'm like, that is so cool. Like, and so she's like, I got up and talked to her, and she's like, I love you so much. Like, I hyperfixate on like basically everything you do except for Ghost from what I was gonna say, Mortal Kombat, Call of Duty. And she's like, nice. And I think she talked to her for a few minutes, and my cousin Georgie's like, why did she not plug your podcast to her? And I was like, I don't think so. And so I text Catherine that. I was like, Georgie wants to know why you didn't plug my podcast. And she's like, that's what Dalton said too. And Dalton was like, you should have told her, do you want to come and record a podcast at 4 a.m.? Wouldn't that be iconic? Wouldn't you guys just die if you heard Brittany Broski's voice on my podcast and she was here in my podcast room? I'd clean it up for her because it's not, it's pretty messy right now. But that, wow, I don't know. I might retire at that point. Like, what an iconic character and guest to have on the podcast this early in. Anyway, so I was like, well, that's okay, because when we're friends, I'll tell her all about this story. I was like, when I'm on her podcast or she's on mine, I was like, I'll tell her about this story and we'll laugh because it's just what friends do. But yeah, so I'm super jealous of that. And yeah, maybe someday. I went to Sundance once, and I guess this is one of the other reasons I didn't want to go. So I don't know what they did or how they got around it, but like I had to park like 10 miles away and wait for a bus with hundreds of other people. It took me like 2 hours just to get into the city. And I was like, this is not even worth it. And we saw the guy from Bridesmaids, the cop. We saw him, and he's actually really tall. He is way tall. I was like, I almost like, it took like, didn't take my breath away, but like it like kind of shocked me. I'm like, I did not expect you to be that tall. So we saw him. My cousin saw Chelsea Handler. They were kind of like behind this hotel walking up this sidewalk because it was less busy, and all of a sudden this huge entourage comes out and Chelsea Handler's in the middle of it. My cousin's like, hi Chelsea. And she looks at her and kind of does this like awkward wave and keeps walking. Oh, I think Charlize Theron was with her too. But me and my cousin love Chelsea Handler, so it was kind of like starstruck for her. And then I show up 2 minutes later. I was so pissed. So I don't know. Sundance is for some people, but I don't love it. Maybe I just went at the wrong time. So maybe next year I won't have a, job schedule that makes me exhausted. So I just want to sleep on Sundays, and I will be able to go. Who else was there at Sundance? I think Benson Boone showed up because he has a new song out, which I think it debuted at like number 4 or something. It had like 5 million streams on Spotify, which is pretty massive because Ariana's song debuted at 7.5 million. So I mean know that's a couple million more, but that's pretty impressive for someone who is not the most well known. I mean, he has like 4 million followers on TikTok, but still, good for him. I think he came to Utah. I'm guessing he went to Park City because that's where all the famous people are right now. But yeah, Brittany Broski got to interview like so many people, and the last one I just saw this morning she interviewed was Glenn Powell. I'm like, what a crazy life. She went from working, I think, in not a call center, but she worked at like for health insurance, I think, and she was just miserable. And I think she ended up, it was like getting fired and quitting at the same time. I think she quit before she could get fired. And look at her life now. I mean, how amazing. You just get to read books whenever you want and post funny videos. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do TikTok and stuff and just are so vulnerable. But who knows? I got to start doing it. So you might just see some cringe content for a while. It's like, oh, I guess it's only really cringe until you get successful. I guess in my mind, that's how it is. But what if it takes so long to be successful and you're just cringe for a long time? I will say some people are not good at lip syncing. Like when people are lip syncing songs and they are barely moving their mouths, I'm like, that's probably my biggest pet peeve on TikTok. I'm like, I've unfollowed people from that. I'm like, you're not even enunciating. You can tell, like, stop whisper lip syncing. Like, commit, like, to the actual lip syncing. Like, seriously, this one guy was barely moving his lips. Like, I'm like, Kate, and I think his teeth were clenched. I'm like, you're not lip syncing. What do you, oh, it's so frustrating. So I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it does. Okay, should we get into actual current events of celebrities? I actually just saw this literally, I don't know, a half hour ago. Avril Lavigne is going on tour, her greatest hits tour, which I feel like she's too young to have a greatest hits tour. Maybe is that just me, or like, I feel like you have to be like Elton John type age to be a greatest hits tour. Billie Joel or whatever. How old is she? Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne. She's only 39 years old. What the Why is she going on a greatest hits tour? That is so interesting to me. It's also interesting to me that she's dating Tyga. She went from Chad Kroeger, is that his name? Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, which, enough with the Nickelback slander. Nickelback is actually really good, you guys. Stop it. Yeah, she's going on a greatest hits tour, and guess what? She's not coming to Utah. People just don't come to Utah anymore. It's really, really pisses me off. So the closest she's coming, if you guys want to go, she's going to Las Vegas on June 1st and Phoenix on June 2nd. So she's not even doing Denver. I have a feeling she'll announce more more tours or whatever, more dates. But as of right now, that's it. And her openers are All Time Low, Simple Plan, Royal and the Serpent, and Girlfriends. I've only heard of 2 of those bands. I don't know if they're bands or people. So, yeah. I'm not going. But, yeah. Again, greatest hits tour, for 39 years old. What? That bothers me. That bothers me so much. I think people would be surprised at how many Avril Lavigne songs they know and are actually quite catchy. So maybe give her a listen, give her some streams. I think she's doing fine, but I mean, you know, couldn't hurt to look. Skater Boy, Girlfriend, My Happy Ending, I'm With You, When You're Gone. Look at this, Complicated. Oh my gosh, that song. When I was young, Avril Lavigne was like everything. She was so popular. She was so cool. She was so edgy. Like, people wanted to be her. Yeah, I love Avril Lavigne, but I will not be going. In solidarity for people not coming to Utah, I think the only major person coming to Utah that I know of right now is Olivia Rodrigo. She's going to the Delta Center, which is the biggest venue that Utah has, and then Madison Beer, which she's not going. I think she's going to the Complex or something, which is not very big. That's the only 2 people I know of coming to Utah this summer. And I'm like, I think there's tons of country people coming because that's just kind of more the demographic. But like Nicki Minaj said she was coming to Utah, and then when she announced the real dates, she got rid of it completely. I'm like, that is so disheartening. I mean, I know they do studies and tests and like surveys to see like where they should go and where they shouldn't, and so that obviously means people, there's not like a huge demographic for those kinds of like artists. But I don't know, it's just really annoying. And now that like the big artists are doing stadiums, they'll never come to Utah, which is fine because Las Vegas is fun to go to, and you all know I will be staying at the Excalibur, so I can just walk over to the venue and walk back. Yeah, so that's breaking news because that happened just this morning. Did you guys see Kim Kardashian's office tour for Skin? So I think her and Kylie and I don't think Courtney, and I think so Safely is a brand that Chris owns. So there's this girl that is a part of basically all of their companies. Why did I forget her name? Sorry, 1 second. Let me Google it. What am I trying to say? Safely. Anyways, she's a part of like all of their companies, and she's got to be like so filthy rich because she's so good at marketing. Anyways, Safely is a cleaning like brand that Chris owns with this lady, and I love it. I love the smell. It smells so good. Like, it actually works. They have laundry detergent. They have glass cleaner. They have universal cleaner. They have like 4 or 5 different scents. They have wall plug-in things. But yeah. Sorry, I'm getting off. How do I find this lady? She's on the cover with Chloe recently. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Safely owners. Oh, Emma Greed. Yeah, she's part of Good American. She's part of Safely. She's a part of, I think she's a part of Skin. What companies? just me typing the rest of the episode. Oh, it's Skims. Okay. She is a CEO and co-founder of the denim company Good America, a founding partner of Skims, and co-founder of Safely. So, that's crazy. She should be a part of Kylie Cosmetics. She'd be so filthy rich. Anyway, what was I... So I think there's a complex that they all work at. I read a magazine article with Kylie, and basically all of their companies have this one business complex thing that they all are a part of. But I guess Skin got a new office, and Kim did a tour of it. And this is actually my dream. I've always wanted one of these, like a giant hallway or just a huge room. And like my favorite like album covers or vinyls or whatever hanging on the wall framed. My favorite magazine covers hanging on the wall framed. Like Kim has every single one of her magazine covers framed and hanging in this like hallway. I'm like, how iconic is that? Do you guys remember when Kim's first magazine cover was Canine Weekly or something? It was a dog magazine, which is so funny because Kim does not like animals that much, and so for her to be on a dog magazine for her first ever magazine cover, she's like, we were so desperate, we would have done anything. And then flash forward like a few years later, when she's finally starting to get like recognized and stuff, she's like, her publicist is like, hey, so like, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And she's like, I really want to be on the cover of Cosmopolitan. And she's like, oh, Kim, honey, let's just be honest, that's never gonna happen. I'm like, oh, that is so awkward, because now she's like literally on basically every magazine you could imagine. I really wonder what people think like that reject celebrities, and then they actually become super mega famous. I want to know what they're thinking. Like, are they pretending to not care, or are they like very like vulnerable and be like, oh, I messed up? Like, Katy Perry had the opportunity to sign Billie Eilish and she didn't, and she's like, big mistake. That was a huge mistake. So I just wonder like what people think like that. I mean, it's hard because like you would look at Kim Kardashian and think, like, well, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? She really hadn't proved much at that point. I think up until then she was just hanging out with Paris Hilton, but I don't think anybody really saw Kim becoming what she is today, except for Kim. I think Kim always had that in mind, but how wild to and how good did Kim feel when she got her first Cosmopolitan cover? Like, she was just on cloud nine, just like so happy and so like, just, I don't know. I wonder what magazine she got on. Probably not Forbes. Well, that too, but Vogue. Probably when she got on Vogue, she realized that she made it. But I think her first Vogue cover was with Kanye. It's with him and North as the baby, and then Kim. Anyway, it's interesting to me. Oh, so she has a whole hallway full of her magazine covers framed. She has a custom mannequin that is tailored to her size, so she probably just had fittings without having to try everything on. She has a 3D model of her brain and her private plane. She has a tanning bed and an infrared bed. I don't know what the difference between those are. And people are like, I will admit, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, are tanning beds a thing again? And people were talking about it like on TikTok and stuff. She's like, are we supposed to be doing tanning beds again? I thought they were super dangerous. And Kim's like, I don't really ever use them, but I have psoriasis and it really helps sometimes. So I don't know if like the heat helps, or I don't know. I don't know how that works, but she said it helps. I don't know, maybe if it helps even her skin tone out or something, but she hides it pretty well if you have psoriasis. I'm sure she has like the best medicine and the best diet on the planet, but you really can't tell that she has it. So whatever she's using to cover it up is pretty amazing. But she also did just announce that she's bringing her makeup back. It's not KKW anymore. She shut down KKW Fragrance, KKW Beauty, and was there one other one? And she just restarted basically because she was obviously getting a divorce and needed to rebrand. But she started with skin, because she's like, I just wanted to go back to like the base layer. I wanted to go back, like start with a clean slate, just start with like what people do first, which is skincare. So that's why skin is first, and then she came out with with makeup now. I really hope she brings her fragrance back because they smelled so good. And then she eventually wants to just have one website so you can buy everything all at once, like Skims, makeup, skincare, fragrance. Who knows what else she's got in the works? Do you ever just sit there and wonder like what celebrities have planned, like what movies are being produced right now that are going to be like so popular and people are obsessed with them? Like what new things are coming out? What new music's being made right now that people like the new summer anthems or summer bops? Like, do you ever just sit and think like how much is in the works, even just like 3 or 4 years out? I do. I sit and think about it a lot. The same with Kim Kardashian. It's like, what do you have next? What are you going to do next? So, anyway, Color Cosmetics. She has lipstick, lip liner, and eyeshadow, and they're all supposed to replicate her old stuff. And she even like went through and said, if you liked this from KKW, then you'll like this from Skin by Kim. Which I keep hearing Color Cosmetics. I don't know what that means. I think the makeup is actually just called Skin by Kim, which is confusing, honestly. Is the skincare just skin? I don't know. Anyway, and then she has a whole room too of all of her products, like just everywhere. Shelves. Oops, sorry, my phone just fell. Shelves and shelves of her products. I'm like, oh, I would die. Could you imagine just being able to go in and restock your whatever you needed, all your skincare, just like go down the hall to your office and grab all what you need? I don't know, the amount of like promos and PR boxes and stuff they send to people. It's like, is that financially worth it? And like, how much does this stuff actually cost to make? I hear like skincare stuff, like the cost to make it is so minimal compared to what they sell it for. I mean, I work at a furniture store and the markup there is absolutely insane. Like when people come in, I'm like, I cannot believe people are paying full price for this stuff, knowing what I get it for. So I don't know, it's crazy. Oh, okay. So if you know me, you know Coachella sounds like my biggest nightmare of all time. I do not understand how somebody could go to Coachella and think, wow, this is the best thing I've ever been to. I cannot even tell you how much I do not have FOMO for this event. This Coachella sounds horrible. Horrible. First of all, you have to be, I was going to say pregnant. You have to be drunk for basically the whole thing, or else you're just not cool. Or you have to do massive amounts of drugs. And I don't do drugs. And I don't want to be drunk for 3 days straight. So I just don't get the appeal. I do not. I don't get the appeal of waiting in line. I don't get the appeal of waiting in line in the hot desert. I don't get the appeal of paying $10 for a water bottle while waiting in line for that water bottle. I don't get the appeal of going to porta potties. I don't get the appeal of paying 10 times the price for hotel rooms. And some people camp. My friends went last year and they camped out and you had to wait in line to go to the showers. I'm like, you guys, this sounds awful. This sounds horrible. Is there anyone out there that agrees with me? Coachella sounds, it's making me angry how much I hate it. There is probably not one artist I would go to see at Coachella. Because first of all, it's not going to be like one of their concerts. It's going to be just thousands of drunk and like cracked out people just like sitting on each other's shoulders and shoving and pushing and throwing up and passing out. Like, I don't get the appeal of Coachella at all. Not one bit. And I'm sorry, you guys, your outfits are effing terrible. They're awful. They're so ugly. They are so ugly. I feel like we're kind of careening back towards the early 2000s of fashion. I meant to say this when I watched Mean Girls. their clothes were awful. I'm so sorry. They were bad. Like I see people on like TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, Kate, you guys aren't even like trying. Like there was this one couple that I saw, and they're like, get ready with us to go run errands or whatever, and like the finished product in my mind, I was like, it was like the Kim Kardashian. You guys, you look like clowns. Seriously, that's what I thought. Like I think we're getting too far over into like the thrifting, like people are just putting whatever on whatever. Like it doesn't match. The sizes are all wrong. Like, and that's just how Coachella is. Coachella people wear the most horrible, horrible clothes. I'm just like, it's not even worth it. And most people just go to take pictures. That's it. I'm like, I can guarantee you I would rather do many other things. I'd rather go on the Mormon Trek again than go to Coachella. And the Mormon Trek was one of the worst experiences of my entire life. I'm not even kidding you. And okay, let's see the lineups. First of all, Friday. Oh, because there's 2 weekends. I was going to say, what? So is it the same people each weekend? I see. This is how little I care about this horrible event. Yeah, no. I need to be able to sit down. Like me and Catherine always talk about this, and I think my cousin Sadie has said it too. Like when we go to concerts, we want to have a seat. No more general admission. I want a seat. So if I want to sit down, I can sit down. But if I want to stand up, I will stand up. But guess what? I have the option to sit down, and I know it, and that brings me peace. Like Brittany Broski said, it is her God-given right to lie down. So the fact that you just have nowhere to lounge, nowhere to relax, nowhere to rest at this place, and I think everyone's aware of how much I like my sleep. So this just, you know what? If you like this place, good for you. Let's see how much are tickets. How much are tickets to this horrible, horrendous event? And it's like, are we gonna do the same thing every day? That like spiral, that spiral, colorful, I don't know, staircase thing, and the Ferris wheel thing. Oh my God, look at this. General admission weekend 1 and 2. $500. Oh, it's already sold out. One of them. Oh no, $600 for the most expensive package. It's the same price. Why they're doing both weekends and they're doing? I'm like, why don't they're the same price? I'm like, just add them all into one. General admission with a shuttle is $720. You know you're gonna be waiting in line for that shuttle for hours. Like it's not even worth it. I just don't get the hype. Oh look, here's VIP. $1,300. Car camping. You have to pay to car camp. Preferred car camping. Don't rush. Arrive at your leisure and guaranteed a spot. I just don't. That's $375. Tent camping. No. I'm so sorry, you guys. Wait, what is this? Ready to go. Oh, you can rent a lodge for yourself now. Ready to go 8 by 12 by 8 wooden lodge. Lockable door, 3 windows. Okay, see this might be. I'm not paying $5,000 for. Oh, look. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with people? $11,000. The ultimate on-site camping experience, complete with guest passes, golf cart, transportation, and more. Okay, see, that's what I would need to do. I would need my own golf cart. I need my own lodge so that I can go back and take naps whenever I want. Look at this thing. LAX shuttle pass. They are shuttling people in from Los Angeles. You guys, this is out of hand. This is so out of hand. Wow. Huh. I am even more upset now than when I first started talking about this. Wow. Why? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I guess you have to join a wait list for this. Wow. People are dedicated to this thing. This thing sounds awful. Any festival to me sounds awful, you guys. This podcast is going to be me ranting about how awful festivals are. They just seem so miserable. You just know you're going to be covered in dirt and sweat. And I don't know. Maybe I'll go 1 year to see. But I will definitely be spending $11,000 for my own golf cart. Like, there's no way. Yeah. I don't know. again, I don't understand. Do you guys remember Fire Festival? That would have been wild to experience. They literally locked people inside the airport. Okay, sorry, I got off tangent. There's the prices if you guys are interested. The lowest one is $500, but you're basically like a peasant. Okay, so there's 2 weekends, Friday, April 2nd or 12th and 19th. The main person is Lana Del Rey, which I heard someone went to her and she was so high that she could barely even like enunciate the words or like sing, and they said it just wasn't very good. No, I'm hearing that from a friend of a friend, I think of a friend, and that could have been forever ago, but I'd be pissed if I went to a concert and the person was so high or drunk or whatever they couldn't even like perform well. Okay, Peso Pluma, that is a singer that Brittany Broski is obsessed with. Lil Uzi Vert. I don't even know half these people, you guys. Clowncore, Mall Grab, Narrowhead. What? Yeah, again, it's not anything. I heard Miley Cyrus was rumored to be here, and I will say that might be intriguing to me. Also think it's because I haven't seen her live in 10 years. So I that's like Miley Cyrus is on top of my list right now because she is a great performer. Has great vocals. Her song, she has so many good songs. Like, I would pay lots and lots of money to see her. But again, I don't know. Suki Waterhouse. I thought she was an actress. Huh. Interesting. She's the one that's pregnant with Robert Pattinson's child. And I think she was in Daisy Jones and the Six. Okay, so Saturday, April 13th and 20th, Tyler the Creator and Blur. I don't know who is Blur. Ice Spice, which doesn't she have like 4 songs? Sublime, Bleachers. I don't. Again, it's like and then as the names go on, they just get smaller and smaller. I'm like, so that like, who's gonna know any of these people? I don't know. I just don't like house music. I don't really like when you see DJs performing and it's just the same beat over and over and over and over again. It's like, hey, we're done. We're done. This is so boring. Like, keep going. Like, do something interesting. Like when you go to the club and the DJs want to be all edgy and like their own thing and like take great songs and then like mix them and make them their own and just ruin them. We're like, no, this is not what we want. We want the songs that the pop queens have given us. Like, stop it. Just push play and leave us alone. Okay, so Doja Cat is the next day, Sunday, April 14th. Yeah, Lil Yachty, DJ Snake. I don't know. He was even Renee Rapp. Look, I'm so sorry. Why is BB Rexa smaller than this top line? BB Rexa deserves way more recognition than she gets. Like, she is on A-list type songs. Like, her songs are on top of the charts constantly. She has a great voice. She's a great performer. Why is she below? She is below Renee Rapp. What the hell is going on? Wow, you guys, I did not realize this would make me so angry. This is so disheartening. I don't know. Maybe I should just go there to complain. I'm like, look, someone's name is Jockstrap. This is what you guys are paying $11,000 for? Really? This? I don't get it. I think the only way you'd see me there is if I was invited to go with like Tana Mojo or Brooke Schofield or Brittany Broski. Like, I need VIP access. I need backstage permission. I need a chair. I need, a place I know that is mine. I can go and lie down. And I can go out when I want to, see the person perform, even if it's behind the stage, or on the side. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's how I'm getting there. I'm not going there to stand in that crowd with everybody else. There's smelly asses and just, their pores reeking of alcohol. Okay, anyway, I guess you guys know my opinion on Coachella. That BB Rexa thing makes me so pissed. Why? Do you want to hear some of the names before her? AP Dylan, Lil Yachty. First of all, what? DJ Snake, who hasn't had a hit since 2014, Ludmilla, John Summit, Karen Leon, Anima. I am beyond upset right now. Also, there's No Doubt is supposed to regroup or whatever. No Doubt, if you guys don't know who that is Gwen Stefani's band she was in before she branched out on her own. They sing, I think they sing I'm Just a Girl. Oh, I'm just a girl. Or the song, this always reminds me of 50 First Dates, the You Really Love Me Underneath It All. That's who that is. So that should be interesting. But again, you will not be catching me at this horrendous event. Okay, let's move on. What's next? What do I have in my little list? Billie Eilish and Olivia Rodrigo and Dua Lipa are set to perform at the Grammys, which is like February 7th, I think. Is that right? Something else is on February 7th too. Oh, it's Abbott Elementary. That's when that comes out. When is the Grammys? When are the Grammys, I should say? February 4th. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, they're performing. I'm guessing Billie Eilish is going to perform What Was I Made For, unless she surprises us with some of her new music she's coming out with. I'm not sure what Olivia Rodrigo will do. And I have a feeling that Dua Lipa will either perform Houdini, which fantastic, I love that song, or she'll release another single within the next few weeks. I guess she doesn't have that long. She's got to hurry. She wants to do that, and then perform that, or do like a mashup or whatever. So that should be interesting. I'm excited to see that. Did you guys know this? Emma Stone and Kieran Culkin used to date. I had no idea. I just found this out recently. And also Ali Wong and Bill Hader are dating. Ali Wong is she a comedian? I think she's a comedian too, and an actress. She was in that movie Netflix a couple years ago where she's a chef. What was that called? Anyways, it was really good. And Bill Hader he used to be on SNL. He's on Barry. He's the main character of Barry. He was in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer, which that movie is really funny. Enough with the Amy Schumer hate. Okay. Yeah, they used to date. And Kieran Culkin is, I mean, the way most people would know him from is he's Macaulay Culkin's brother, which Macaulay Culkin is the guy from Home Alone. But Kieran Culkin is the one that's winning all these awards right now for Succession, that really popular show. Elton John won an EGOT, which basically means a Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So you just like win all those categories, which is kind of a coveted position to be in. Not a lot of people have that. I think it's like I thought I still had the tab up here. I'm so sorry, you guys. I think there's like 20 people that have it, and Whoopi Goldberg is one of them. Isn't that interesting? Whoopi Goldberg, Audrey Hepburn, Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's the one that produces like basically all the popular shows on Broadway. He was also one of the guys behind the Cats Catastrophe, the movie. He did like Phantom of the Opera. It was probably what most people would know him from. Anyway, so yeah, he has won all those. I'm not really sure what Golden Globes and Emmys are basically the same thing, aren't they? I think Oscars is just movies. Golden Globes is movies and television. And so is the Emmys, isn't it? It'd have to be. And then a Tony is like the award show for Broadway like plays and stuff like that. So yeah, he won it for his farewell tour, Elton John Live Farewell from Dodger Stadium. So apparently when he won, he was at home sleeping. He was in England, and his husband, I think it was his husband, called him and woke him up because he was just recovering from knee surgery or something. I'm like, that sucks. You're making history and you're like, just had knee surgery. So yeah, that's cool. It's cool for him. Did you hear Carmen Electra is changing her name? to Carmen Electra. I thought when I read this, it was going to be she was changing her name back to her original name, going back to her roots. But no, she's changing it from her like main name to Carmen Electra, which her main name is Tara Lee Patrick, which I don't know. Like, why this long into your career? I don't know. I don't get that, but oh well. Okay, I didn't really know this either. I guess I did, but every time I hear it, it kind of surprises me. I think I'm getting him or her confused with Kaya Gerber, because Austin Butler's dating Kaya Gerber. But Jacob Elordi is dating Olivia Jade. And who is Olivia Jade, you ask? She is the one that was part of the huge college admissions scandal. Her mom, Lori Loughlin, she used to be on Full House. Her mom was the one that paid to get her into school, which I don't know. Like, are we that shocked that parents are buying their kids' way into school? Like, I thought everybody knew that happened. Like, isn't that just basically how the world runs? Just rich people just pay other rich people to, stay rich and get their, what am I trying to say? Just get what they want. Like, I guess it's a good thing that they're trying to penalize people for it because, there are tons of kids that get in on scholarships, tons of like poor kids and like people that would never be able to afford to go to these schools get in on grants and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess that's good. They're trying to like crack down on it, but like they went hard on these people. Like Felicity Huffman, she was on Desperate Housewives, which is one of my favorite shows ever. Like they had no remorse for her or Lori Loughlin. Anyway, yeah, Olivia Jade, I think she got off scot-free. I don't know. I think it's just interesting. Like the people that the money was paid for, they didn't even get in trouble. It was the people, their parents, that got in trouble. And they like faked them like being on the rowing team, like the boat sport or whatever. I just think that's interesting. I remember though that I think it was Dr. Dre. He tweeted something like so ridiculous that parents are paying their way for their children to get into school and they should just be doing it themselves, like the hard way and stuff. And someone's like, didn't you just like give the school, this university, like $50 million to build a new building down the street or something? And he deleted the tweet because someone called him out. But yeah, again, the whole time this whole thing was going on, I was just so in awe. Like people were so shocked and so upset by this. I'm like, this happens constantly. Like, I don't understand what everyone's so pissed off for. Anyway, Olivia Jade is, when you type her in on Google, she's an American YouTuber. So there you go. Also, Jacob Elordi and Renee Rapp were on SNL this weekend, and I'm so mad. I tried to stay up. I was like, okay, I'm going to come home, I'm going to take a nap, I'm going to wake up at 9, and then I'm going to watch SNL. No, I turned on Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I fell asleep and didn't wake up until the morning, so I missed it again. But they did pretty good. I watched it the next day. It was pretty funny. Renee Rapp's performed Snow Angel and Not My Fault, the new Mean Girls song, and she brought out Meg Thee Stallion. But before she performed Not My Fault, at the beginning, they always announce like, once again, Renee Rapp, but this time it was Rachel McAdams, which is iconic because Rachel McAdams is the one that played the original Regina George in the Mean Girls. And so that was just kind of fun because Rachel McAdams has kind of been MIA for like all of the Mean Girls reunions, all of the Mean Girls like revamps. Like she's just, and even like there's a picture that's gone around of the original Mean Girls cast. It's like a Polaroid photo, and everyone's in it but Rachel McAdams. And I'm sure she was like so busy at that point. She was like doing all these she was just like the hottest new thing on the scene. So I'm sure she was super busy, but I don't know. You kind of got the vibe that she wasn't really loving. But then you hear her talk about it. She's like, no, I loved it. I really just do. But I'm just time conflicts. And maybe she's one of those people that, doesn't say yes to everything, which, good for her. Because it's taken me a very, very long time to say no to things I don't want to do. I don't know. I feel like if I was a celebrity, though, I would say yes to absolutely everything because you just never know when it's going to end. Yeah, and I guess I saw it. Rachel McAdams did a scene on SNL too. They were like in this acting class, and people were like, "You look so much like Rachel McAdams." She's like, "I know, but I'm not." And anyway, it's funny just to watch. She did a pretty good job, but you could tell it was like kind of last minute because she was reading from the card. You could totally tell, which is, I mean, it's fine. But then like what the jokes the other people would make, she would laugh, like try not to laugh so hard because I think she just kind of just came and like was thrown in. So anyway, they did pretty good. But next week is Dakota Johnson, who I love. I love her. Did you see the article where she's like, I'll drop everything if I'm too stressed or overwhelmed and take a bath? I'm like, wow, queen behavior. And she sleeps like 12 hours a day if she can. I'm like, wow, I just can't even imagine. Did you guys ever see her house on Architectural Digest's house tour or whatever? Or was it the Vogue? I think it was Vogue, 72 Questions. Her house looks so fun. Yeah, so that was SNL. There's a Wizards of Waverly Place reboot in the works. Supposedly Selena Gomez and David Henry, who was her brother. What was it, Alex? I can't remember her brother's names. Anyway, her older brother is already signed on to be in it. So that should be interesting. But did you guys hear Madonna's getting sued? Madonna is so interesting to me. I feel like she's one of those people that has been around forever. Like there's just not really a time you don't hear of her being around. Kind of like Dolly Parton, kind of like how Betty White was. Like there's just some people that, like Mariah Carey, that have just been in every decade, it seems like. So Madonna's one of them. But she had shows like during the middle of the week, like during work weeks, or work days. And she was supposed to come out on stage at 8:30, and she didn't come out till 10:30. Now I would be pissed as well. Like, I don't know how far this is gonna go. I doubt. I mean, what are they gonna say? Like, I don't understand what their agenda is. Like, what their court winning statement's gonna be. But I will say that happened to me with Nicki Minaj. She had 4 openers, and she didn't come out on stage until 10:30. I'm like, my friend Kayla was like the very end, and she's like, "Look, hey, let's go." I'm like, no, I did not fly all the way to Denver to leave this concert. Like, I'm staying to the very end. And but like by the time we left, it was like 1:30. I'm like, yeah, this is like way too late to be doing this to people. Emily in Paris. Do you have any Emily in Paris fans out there? I love that show. It's just so like light, and I guess how I would describe it is pastel-y. Like all the colors are pastel and like spring vibes and summer vibes. Like I just love the whole entire vibe of that show. They just started filming again. But did you see Ashley Park? She plays what is her friend's name on Emily in Paris? Hang on. Emily in Paris. Mindy, her friend Mindy. She was hospitalized for tonsillitis, which is kind of scary because I think we just saw her. I think it was at the Critics' Choice Awards. But yeah, this show's really good, you guys. You should watch it. It's a good easy binge. I guess you could say it's on Netflix. So yeah, Lizzie McGuire. So there's more coming out about why that show didn't go anywhere, and I guess they were trying to put it on Disney Plus. And I don't know if this was before Disney Plus kind of put out a statement saying they changed like their rating because they wanted more not adult, but like more grown up shows to be able to be on that platform. But like one of the storylines was, so the storyline is she's an interior designer and her boyfriend cheats on her. So she goes back home and then she ends up waking up in Ethan's bed, and the little animated Lizzie McGuire girl comes out and she has like this checklist, and she's like, it was like a to-do list, and one there was Ethan Slater. Is that his name? Ethan Slater? Why does that sound wrong? I don't think that's right, you guys. But why does that name sound so familiar? Hang on. Oh my gosh, no, that's Ariana Grande's home wrecking husband or whatever he is. No, Ethan, what is his name on the show? Anyway, she wakes up in his bed and she has a to-do list, and on there is his name, and she crosses it out and then crosses it out again, like referring to twice. So that's probably one of the reasons that Disney did not pick it up to put on Disney Plus, because they wanted it to be more adult, which it would have worked. I don't know why they were so adamant on not doing it. Did you guys also hear that? I never watched Disney Plus like the Marvel shows. The only one I watched was WandaVision, which was phenomenal. Like, why did they put so much effort into that and then nothing into the other shows? That's like the only good show on there with the Marvel stuff. I feel like the other is just so thrown together, so just like not enjoyable. But there's She-Hulk with Tatiana Maslany, I think is her name, and they spent $225 million on that show, and they got canceled. She's like, yeah, I think we kind of used up our budget. Like, they're not gonna invest in that anymore. Like, for a show that's not even like, you'll never see those profits. Like, you'll never see that money again. So $225 million. That is insane for a TV show on a streaming platform. I don't know. Streaming platforms, I think they're starting to struggle. I think they're realizing, like, Disney's bringing back movies that was released during COVID that they had to put straight to Disney Plus. They're bringing them back to theaters, like Luca. I think Raya. What other show? There was another one I saw. Anyway, because they're trying to recoup their money. Because, like, I don't know. They're just realizing everyone's raising their prices again. So frustrating. Anyway, did you guys see they're doing a Polar Express 2? I'm pretty excited about that. There was a phase in my life where I hated Polar Express, but that was back when, like, I thought it was cool to hate things. And now I'm in a time of my life I'm like, it is so uncool to hate things. Like, I hate when people just hate stuff for no reason. Like, if you have a valid reason, I totally understand. Or if you're just like, I don't vibe with this. I don't, I just don't like it. Like, good. But like, when people just hate it just to hate it, I'm like, what is the point? What are you trying to do here? Like, is there some kind of agenda you're going for? I just don't get why people have to hate so much. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just don't like give it any attention. But like, people are like, oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. I worked with this lady once and she hated everything. I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I don't know what happened, but you are just, I don't know what, like, you're just so miserable. I don't understand what is going on. Like, you hate everything. She hated Kristen Wiig. She hated Taylor Swift. She hated everybody. I was like, what do you do? What do you do when you go home? What shows do you watch? Because you're limiting yourself so much. Like, what music do you listen to? I don't understand. I don't get people that just hate just to hate. So, like, people that hate Chris Brown, obvious. People that hate, I don't know, who else do people hate? But like, when people are just mean for no reason, it makes no sense to me. Anyway, there's that. Also, I wanted to talk about this article. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is the last thing, and then I'll leave you guys alone. You guys can go about your week and do your thing. Let's see. So Jeremy Allen White, I know him from Shameless, but now he's in that show The Bear that's winning all these awards, and people say they loved it. He's also in that wrestling movie with Zac Efron, where they all look so weird. Someone said Zac Efron looks like Lord Farquaad with muscles. Headline, let's see. Oh, dang it, I probably can't find it. Hang on, I'm gonna pause for a second so I can find it, because whoever wrote this has a agenda for this guy. Okay, I found it. Okay, so this is an actual headline someone wrote about this guy. So he's the new, like, campaign person from Calvin Klein. He's like super ripped. Just so frustrating because you see so many pictures of him smoking. I'm like, that is so disheartening. Like, you can look like that, but literally put poison into your body. Me as I'm clutching my Elani drink. And you can look like that. Like, that is so unfair. Anyway, this headline says, "Inside the life of Hollywood's newest bad boy, hunk Jeremy Allen White is a chain-smoking, troubled former addict who's been through a messy divorce and must be breathalyzed every time he sees his children. That is the headline, you guys. What? What? Who approved that, first of all? Who would write that? Who would think that in their brain and think, oh, this is a good, this will get attention? I cannot believe someone dared even do that. That is so shocking to me. How rude, first of all. That is so embarrassing. And not embarrassing that he's had to go through all this stuff and like whatever. Like everyone, has their stuff they go through. But like to be just drug out like that on, or sorry, I guess I should use a different word. Dragged out like that on national, it was on the Daily Mail. Like, wow, that is so sad. If I read that about myself, I would be like, well, it's kind of like one of those things that's like people like are aware of, and he's obviously changed his life around, but people just can't let it go. Like that's all he'll be known for, apparently, to that person who wrote that article, and now to all these people around the world. Drug addicted person who has to be breathalyzed every time he wants to see his kids. Like, how sad. Like, I don't know. I do not get some people. Like, why would you think that's okay? I don't know. I would never do it, but oh well. Anyways, that's it, you guys. That is all for me right now. I'm back. I'm healthy. I will be eating as healthy as possible because I never want to get sick like that again. I lost a whole week of my freaking life. But yeah, I hope you all have a good week. It's almost the end of January, which is so crazy to me. But time flies. Time does fly. So especially when, well, not when you're sick, but time does fly. Yeah, what should I leave you with? What words of wisdom should I leave you with? I don't know. I just, hope one day maybe I can be on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine. Could you imagine? Oh, you guys, that would be so awesome. Has there even been a man on the Cosmopolitan cover? I don't know. I'll be the first one, though. I'll be the first one. Honestly, any magazine cover at this point, I will take. I will take it. So, National Enquirer, here I come. Thank you all for listening. Please tell all your friends about me and this podcast and how awesome it is and how it benefits your life in every way. And please follow me on Instagram at Kacey_K and rate and review and share. And thank you. Bye.